Hi, everybody. Welcome back to day 2 of writing. Yesterday, what we did is we drew a mind map together. So you drew a mind map on your sheet of paper. Your top circle is huge and it is for your topic sentence. These are for your 3 facts or details, not opinions, facts, true statements. And this is your conclusion. All right, so you should have something that pretty much looks like this, only not typed. This is mine so far, so I picked one of the 4 topic sentences that I wrote yesterday. You could have picked this one, some of you picked this one, some of you picked this one, so you're not going to have the same one as me in the top. I just picked the top one and used it. So I have that now written in the top circle, and remember that these circles need to be big enough that you can write in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our story and we're going to look for facts that we would want to use. Now, I will tell you something. There are facts in this story and there are also opinions. Remember that an opinion is something that changes from person to person. Like, Sadie is beautiful. That is an opinion because some people may think that Sadie's pretty, some people might not. Lucia is smart. Some people might think Lucia is smart. Some people might not. James has a great smile. Some people might think that James has a great smile. Some people might not. Facts are something that is provable. Like right now, I have a green shirt on. If you were to see me, you would all agree with that. So facts are provable. They're something that are true and they're something that everybody are going to agree on. All right. Now, when I think of writing a jellyfish paper, I want to say what a jellyfish looks like. So the very first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go to what a jellyfish looks like. So right down here, and each one of these paragraphs is a different page. So in your story, it says down on like about middle way through your story, it says, to be a jellyfish, you need to be shaped like a bell with at least one mouth and tentacles. Many animals called jellyfish are really something else. Okay. And you're water filled. It has an air filled, which is the Portuguese. The jellyfish has a water filled bell. So right here, I want to remember this. Okay. So I want to remember bell, one mouth, tentacles, and a water filled bell. That's important. That's going to be my first fact. I'm going to tell you what a jellyfish looks like. All right. Now, the second fact that I really think is really fascinating is how it doesn't have a brain. I think that is really, really cool. Um, the other, like if you wanted to add more to the first one, you could say that they are as big, that they grow as long as a blue whale. That's pretty cool. Let's go back to that first one for a minute because I just saw that as I was looking around. But then I want to talk about how they don't have a brain or a heart. I think that is really, really cool. And it says it up here, no brain. Do you see that? So I'm thinking that this is number 2. So first I'm going to talk about maybe how they look. Then I'm going to talk about the fact that they don't have a brain or a heart so that they can't decide where to swim. All right. So I'm going to say something about how they just have to float in the water. Just float on. Okay. This is number 2. All right. Do you see how I kind of get this organized and I kind of think, because I don't want to say, well, they don't have a brain or something and then tell you what they look like. I want to first talk about what do they look like. Then I want to tell you how they don't have a brain and that causes them just to float through the water. And then the third thing that I think that I want to do is I want to talk about how they have millions of these little tiny mechanical cells that sting, and they sting for protection and for food. I think that is really interesting. All right. So see how I have my 3 facts now? Once I reread and I get my facts. Now, I could have done it totally different. I could have talked about what they look like. I could have talked about what they eat. And I could have talked about their sizes. And then I would have organized that. But I try to think about, okay, what do people really want to know about a jellyfish? Well, one is about what they look like. Two is about how they have no brain or heart. So they really can't decide what they do in the water. They just kind of float around. And the third thing that I want to talk about is how they have all these little mechanical cells. Mechanical just means that they're automatic. They don't need something telling it to do it. So, like if we reach out and touch something, we tell our hand to reach out and touch it. With a jellyfish, what happens is they're just automatic. So if something touches these little tiny cells that are on those long tentacles, they automatically shoot and sting. Isn't that cool? So you have to think about, what are the facts I really want to teach somebody? Then I go back. Okay, so my first fact is bell-shaped, water bell-shaped mouth and tentacles. Okay, now watch this. This is a little bit different than what I was showing you the other day. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm not going to type whole sentences right now. I'm going to go that they're bell-shaped, right? Bell-shaped. They're water-filled. Okay, they're water filled, and they have a mouth and they have tentacles. Now, this is the way tentacles. I don't think I spelled that correctly. So, see me go back to my story. So, I'm going to go back to tentacles and I'm going to look at it. Tentacles. Okay, so then I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to say, you know what? I need to go right there and I need to say tentacles. Okay. Now, I didn't write a complete thought. That's okay. This is how the best way to do it. This one needs to be a complete sentence. This needs to be a complete sentence, but this can be ideas right now. Then you can turn it into maybe one or two sentences. Okay. Now, I go back to my story and I think, okay, what is number 2? Number 2 is no brains and no hearts, and that they just float around in the water and they float up and down. Okay, so let's go back here. And so I want to say no brains or hearts. Okay, they float up and down, in the water. Okay, do you see that? Then the third one, I go back to my story and see, this is the mistake that kids do. Oh, I don't want to look at my story. I don't want to go back to it. Go back to it. Look at it. Think about it. Get your facts and write them down and then turn them into sentences. Okay, my third thing was they have tiny mechanical cells that sting for protection and food. Okay, so I go back here. Oops, sorry. I go back here and I go right here, and they have tiny mechanical cells and they sting, protection, and for food. Okay, do you see how I do that? Now when I write this, and I could organize this different, I could say, okay, this is number 1. Okay, this is number 2. This is number 3. And I want to think about, how is somebody going to read this, and does it make sense? Is it organized? So jellyfish are interesting little creatures that live in oceans all around the world. That's our topic. Now we're going to tell you what they look like. We're going to tell you how they swim, the fact they have no brains and hearts, and they float up and down in the water. Oh, you know what else? They're carried by the current, which is the current. Carried by the current. Okay. That was important. I might add that, I might not. But do you notice how I write these things down? Now, the other thing that I may do is I may bullet this, where what a bullet is I may do something that looks like this. I may go, this is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. This is the first one. They float up and down, and the current, they're tiny mechanical cells. They sting, and they protect for protection in food. Those are called bullets. Oftentimes I don't use them in these circles, but you can. But they just help you keep even more organized. And you'll see that as we go more and more into writing. But right now, I don't have to write complete thoughts in there. I just have to say, these are the facts that I want to teach somebody. So I have my topic sentence now. I have my 3 reason, detail, and facts. And I have enough that I can turn those into really good sentences. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to pause this video. When you come back to it, it will be done. And I want you to copy this down. So you did your topic sentence yesterday, and today all you're doing is copying down exactly what I wrote in those circles, and then you're done for the day. All right? So go ahead and pause this video, copy this down, make sure you had one of those 4 topic sentences from yesterday, and you're done for writing today, and we've done a topic sentence and 3 reason, detail, facts. All right? So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Pause the video now.